Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exciting edition of LWOD Rage Across New York. As we enter this latest episode, we are, you know, Lucas is outside doing suicide watch while Nicholas is just in the cabin in the bed, just wondering about all the events that transpired, contemplating about many things. He's in a very sad state of mind right now, just staring at his hands. You know, he's a sad guru at this point, or he don't even consider himself that at this point. So,
Well, Ren is coming to see him. She has needed to for some time now, and she's finished her fostering challenge and has time. So she comes trudging through the sept up to the cub cabins. And if Lucas is out where she can see him, she stops and gives him a smile.
He's definitely where she can go ahead and see him. Goes ahead and offers her a lifting of his childhood guy stick. Looks to you and says, "Congratulations, Raya."
Thank you very much. I wish you wouldn't call me Raya, though.
All right, Rainy Poo, Rainy Dingles,
Huh.
the glorious, wise, and honorable Miss Rin Brennan.
Sure. You do what you gotta do, Lucas. Is Nicholas in there?
Lucas goes ahead and nods and says, "He hasn't left the premises ever since he was brought in nearly a week ago."
Oh. Are there restrictions on visits? Can I see him?
At the moment, there are no restrictions on visits. The only restriction is upon him not to leave the premises.
I think that's probably very smart anyway.
What are you expecting to find in there?
She kind of stops and blinks at him. My friend.
He goes ahead and nods.
Who
Well
I
then,
imagine is probably hurting right now.
yeah, not a lot that you go ahead and hear from the outside, but every so often when he's awake, he'll start to pace around. Sometimes he'll just go ahead and collapse. He does so in most of his forms.
Hmm. Ren's gonna nod, and then she's gonna step forward and give Lucas's shoulder kind of a gentle, kind of tentative squeeze, and then reach past him to knock very quietly on the door.
just hear a number, but silence in it.
And she knocks again a little bit louder. Nicholas?
He approaches and opens the door, and you can see that all throughout his forearms he has like indentations of like nail just digging into his arms and stuff. And you can kind of see this depressed look on his face, and he don't even have his hat on anymore.
So she's gonna give Lucas a quick smile over her shoulder and then step into the cabin. If Lucas comes in, she doesn't close the door right away in case Lucas is coming in too.
Lucas will actually speak before entering. Would you two like a cup of tea while you talk?
Sure.
Eh?
You want some tea,
Mm,
Nick?
And he just
take-
stares blankly.
Ren's gonna let Lucas decide what to make of that.
Wonderful thing about making tea is that you make it in a pot, and lots of people can share. Lucas will go ahead and take the initiative to slip behind Ren, close the door very, very subtly, and make his way to the kitchen cabinets to start brewing some green spearmint peppermint tea.
So Nicholas is in Hamid, is that right?
Yes.
Ren's going to set her bag aside and settle down on the floor, cross her legs, and set her hands in her lap. Hey, Nick.
You see his eyes just turns over there in your direction.
How are you doing?
I don't know.
Are you wounded? Your body? Is your body wounded?
Not anymore.
She nods. Do you remember what happened?
I was hit by something that caused me great pain. And then I just black blacked out.
Are you scared?
I just want to die right now.
Ren slips to her feet, and she's gonna shift before she finishes slipping to her feet. So she's not. Before she stands up, she shifts into Krynos. Um, and she moves toward him, not quite. I'm guessing the cabin's probably not very tall. Krynos probably isn't very comfortable in here. So she kind of moves almost on all fours towards him to sit next to him, um, and offers him a hand with great long talons on it, but they're turned inward so that she won't hurt him. She just kind of runs a knuckle, just very, very gently, very carefully, along the side of his face. That's not the plan. You dying isn't the plan.
Talia died because of me.
No. No. That's not what I heard. What did you hear? Maybe I have my story wrong.
I,
Like I said, I need to go to Georgia.
he kind of just still have his eyes turned towards the ground, just looking at it. You can clearly see that he's very distraught.
Nick, you survived, and the nation still needs you. Your duty's not over yet. I know it hurts. It's right that it hurts. And it'll teach you to prevent it next time, you know?
But I hurt Chino. I bit him and I devoured his flesh. I don't know if there's no turning back from that.
You're not biting me. You're not biting anyone else right now.
Yeah, maybe not right now, but what happened when it does happen?
Well, now it's time to learn to keep it from happening. Your duty's not over. We need you. Hey. And she kind of reaches out and tries, just with the back of one finger, to turn his head to look at her.
He kind of flinches a little bit.
It's gentle. Her touch is gentle and slow. It's not fast. She's trying very, very hard not to startle him.
He turns around.
There's still work to do. You can make amends for this.
I don't know if I can.
Nicholas, you can. I'm telling you, you can. And you have a duty to.
They'll persecute me.
Yes. They will. That's how life goes. And that doesn't absolve us from our duties. It's worse to be useless.
Damn parent Olaf Roy probably hates me.
He'll get over it. And I wouldn't assign feelings to anybody who hasn't specifically said they hate you. You should be careful. I'm sure there are people who are grieving very hard. But
I don't know if I have anybody on my side.
hey, Nicholas, I'm right here. You know I believe in you. And it's not just me. You aren't the first person to frenzy. You aren't the first person to... I can't tell you I know how it feels, but you can't give up yet, okay? You have to be better than that. I don't want to remember you as losing to your anger and then throwing it away because you weren't willing to fight.
I'll try.
She opens her arms a little bit and kind of offers him a hug. It's an awkward as fuck hug because she's in Krenos.
He shifts slowly into Kranos and gives her a hug and he kind of squeezed kind of tight and you could feel he's shaking really bad and you could tell that he's really scared.
She gets it. She gets it with her whole heart, and she's not shaking. She just stands there and holds him tightly. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be okay, though. It's gonna suck, but it's not. It's gonna work out. You're not alone. And even the people who are grieving and hurting, who don't know what to do with you, they need you more now than ever, so it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to be patient in ways that you've never had to be patient before. But I think you can do it. Am I right?
Yes.
She squeezes him a little tighter for a second. And then she lets go, kind of rubs his back with her knuckles, very careful of her claws, and glances to see where Lucas has gone.
Well, originally the idea was to go ahead and have some tea brewing. There's definitely some tea brewing, but you notice that the window in the kitchen has been cracked open for a little tiny bit, as Lucas seems to have a sack across his back.
Ren gives him kind of a funny look.
You go ahead and smell venison in the air from the bag.
Is it cooked or raw?
Some of it is cooked, some of it is raw.
Ren's nose wrinkles just a little bit at the smell. Normally she's all about the raw meat, but her stomach's in enough knots right now that the thought of eating is a little bit hard, and the thought of a flesh is even harder. But she does want some tea, and she's gonna pull herself to her feet, and before she hits her head, is going to shift carefully into back into Hamid. What do we have? 10. Yeah, she's great.
Cool.
So she shifts back into Hamid, and because it's really hard to drink tea in Krynos.
Yeah. Guess who was thinking about that? Yeah. So Lucas, upon seeing Rin go ahead and transform into Hamid, goes ahead and places the sack of venison in the sink and takes the tea set and starts to walk on over.
She reaches for a cup. Thank you.
You can imagine there's a little ottoman there, and Lucas goes ahead and sets the tea set on the ottoman. There are 3 other cups there.
Ren sits back down next to Nicholas, and not quite touching him, but almost, and she offers him the cup of tea. She doesn't, she holds it out like it's for him, but she doesn't hand it over quite yet if he reaches for it. She's probably waiting for him to shift back out of Krynos.
He slowly shifts down, and he holds out his hand.
She'll hand it over very carefully.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And then she glances at at Lucas, because that thanks is probably mostly for him, because he actually got the tea.
She'll go ahead and smile and go ahead and nod and simply say, "It's the least I could do. I was fully prepared to go ahead and service or like hand over hospitality in your own form, whatever you felt most comfortable in."
She grabs another cup of tea, carefully without sloshing it everywhere. Have either of you heard from Chino? Do you know how he's doing?
For some reason, he has a very distaste for me. Even before the whole incident, he bared some type of hate for me, but it's understandable now.
Well, he has his own demons to fight. Oh well.
The last time that I went ahead and spoke to Chino, he was very much well within his own faculties.
Good. Good. That's good to hear.
He did not seem to hold much anger to himself.
Good. What are you going to do next, Nick? Have you thought about it? I know you're going to be stuck in the cabin for a while. Do you want something to read?
Mm.
Music?
Mm.
What can I
No,
bring you?
I I need to be in my thoughts. I need to meditate on things.
Okay. Do you want anything to do with your hands? I know you were... I'm sorry you're locked up here again. I imagine you're probably pretty good at entertaining yourself. Do you want something to work on? Crafts? Something like that?
Hmm. I would just only like a wooden practice blade from the training area.
I can get that.
"Nicholas," Lucas says, "you like comic books?"
Mm. Mm. A little.
"Well, I got a little bit of a hoard, a little bit of collection that I could go ahead and leave here for you if you fancy it."
Mm. I will save those for meditating time.
"Fair enough. Your time is your own."
Go ahead.
Mm. Mm. Well, what can I say? I'm pretty much in the hot seat. He
Yeah.
tries to laugh about it, but you could tell that it's a very fake laugh.
Yeah, you are. It's okay. This is part of learning. It's gonna happen to you a lot. Like we talked about, it's gonna keep happening. This is where you have to learn how to deal with it, with this, with being in the hot seat. It's not fun, but it's valuable. It's okay. Just remember that you can't give up. I know you won't disappoint me. I know you're better than what happened.
Hmm.
Is there anybody in particular you want to talk to? I know you've been doing a lot of thinking.
Hmm. I have the only person who I want to talk to right now. He smiles over towards you.
Fair enough. Well, I'll make sure I come visit then. You can help me with my stupid papers for class. That'll be fun.
What are you talking about? It's always, always, always delightful to go ahead and cross-reference a few different articles and indexes in other articles that involves an entirely different set of like encyclopedia where precedent was set on one particular paragraph on page 362.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like a scavenger hunt.
It is. Blindfolded.
Hmm.
And drunk.
And spun around at least 3 times.
So basically it's like a scavenger hunt while you're trying to vomit at the same time.
Yep.
I think that describes law school pretty well. Don't either of you ever tell Aaron I said that. He'll say it's Columbia's fault.
Hmm. Interesting.
So, Nicholas, when this is over, when you're allowed to go back out, you and me should, we should practice. Maybe a little different than you practice with Olaf or the other cubs.
Well, practice what?
Keeping our temper. It's, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You don't have to worry about hurting me. And, it's really fucking hard to learn on your own. Especially, you know.
I understand.
Are you prepared to accept a punishment if they offer one? If we offer one?
Of course.
Good. That
Even if
may...
it's death.
All of the color drains out of Ren's face, and she, is suddenly very, very busy drinking her tea.
Dying is not part of the plan.
Dying is not part of the plan.
live and conduct yourself as if there is another day ahead of you.
Of course.
He knows. He's still a hero. Am I wrong?
Mm. Such title. I must regain that title.
Yeah. You will.
In a hero's journey, there is always that moment, that time, where the stakes are completely down, where the hero has fallen so very, very far from his goal, and it is the darkness. But you know what? Just as Samwise goes ahead and says, there's a reason for those dark places. It's just so that when we lift ourselves up, when we are lifted up, when we achieve what we need, it's all that much more glorious.
Mm. And Samwise was a wise galleon.
He was a 4-foot hobbit.
You see his eyebrows go up.
Do you want something to read? I'll bring you Lord of the Rings.
Mm. That's probably a must read.
I think that qualifies. I'll bring it tomorrow. It's a little long and dry. If you can't sleep, it's a good thing to bury yourself in.
Mm.
Are you sleeping okay?
Oh,
Lucas goes ahead and makes a very, very few and subtle gestures that if you want me to go ahead and roll to convey it without Nicholas noticing, I will, but it comes across as like a definite no.
Oh, oh.
The message is for Rin, decepting dear Nicholas there. Again, as I said, if you want some roll-offs, we can definitely do that. Barring that, continue on.
Okay. Well, I'll try and come by at night then. Maybe I can help you get to sleep. I'll bring good sleeping foods. Just while you're meditating, prepare yourself for the trial, okay? Prepare yourself for people to be ugly and know that it's not hate talking, it's grief.
of course.
She reaches over, she sets her cup aside, and then she reaches over and wraps him in a hug again and just hugs him tight.
He's just he's gonna share the same embrace with her.
And I'm sorry you lost Talia. I know you guys. I know you had your. Well, I got the sense you were friends. That she was important to you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
Ren's gonna look at Nicholas for a minute, and then she's gonna pull back and reach for her tea again. You should try to sleep.
Hmm. Uh, yes.
We'll clean up.
And he kind of mosey on over to his uh his bed and just flops in it and just turns over.
Ren finishes off the last of her tea, just watching him, and occasionally glancing over to watch Lucas, too. What's his face saying?
Hmm. Let's see. His face is pretty much saying very, very much, okay, how about this? Lucas goes ahead and looks about the cabin, and the cabin brings a sense of familiarity, a sense of everything is right in the world. But when he goes ahead, excuse me, and eyes the extra room and the extra bed, there's definitely a strike of oh shit, a look of concern, maybe even a fatalistic concern. But going from there to Rin, it seems as if Rin's particular piece, will make things not so devastating.
Ren kind of hauls herself to her feet and sets her cup with the rest of the tea stuff and wanders over to try to give Nicholas. Oh my god. Normally it's like the first letters, but now it's like the last letters that are screwing me up. The Lucas and the Nicholas are just killing me. Oh my god.
Several other people have also had that problem.
It's so weird. Like, I've never had the last parts of the word screw me up before. Anyway, she wanders over to try and give Lucas a hug, too.
He certainly won't fight it. You'll definitely feel him go ahead and return it. It's not one of desperation. It's not one of fear. It's just simply you are comforting him, and he is returning it.
She gives him a squeeze and then goes and picks up the tea and heads into the little kitchen area to clean out the teacups. She's keeping one ear on both of them.
Oh, hell no, Lucas thinks to himself. No way in hell is he going to let the Rin go ahead and, like, fix up all of this stuff.
It's probably good for her.
It's like a sample. Actually, Lucas will go ahead and, as you're doing this, as you go ahead and get the tea set over to the sink and start washing it, he'll go ahead and simply whisper in an audible enough voice. This is like the sandwiches, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the least I can do.
You're certainly a wonderful guest.
I love you.
I love you too, Rin.
So she washes the cups and she's not really watching what she's doing. She's really watching like the big lump of Nicholas in the bed, trying to get an idea for how he's doing. Is he falling asleep? Is he sitting there breathing heavily?
He's falling asleep. It seems like the comfort really helped him out a lot. But you know he's fading into sleepy land.
She pulls her hands out of the sink and dries them on like her pants and walks over to set a hand on his shoulder, and she leans over and just tells him very quietly, "You're not alone, Nicholas. Just don't forget." you're not alone.
When you put your hand on his shoulder, you notice that his shoulder was like kind of tense a little bit, but when you said the comforting words, it kind of felt like the whole world kind of uplift off his shoulder, and it kind of like he was like able to relax a little bit more.
So she sits down on the edge of the bed and just kind of like leans back so that her back is touching his back. Not hard enough to make it hard for him to sleep. Just kind of sits there and um, pulls out her phone and kind of toodles around on her phone for a while, just waiting for his breathing to get regular, make sure he falls asleep.
While you're doing that, Lucas is actually going to go ahead and vacate the scene quite briefly to go back to his vigil on the porch.
His breathing starts to soothe a little bit, you know, starts to go regular.
My good Diamond, now is the time for you to practice a skill you should learn to hone. That is to bring us to an outro.
Oh yes, and that was an exciting feels moment of LWOD Rage Across New York. Good night and have a fabulous evening. And wait for more field trains to come on the next episode.